Hi everyone, I'm Anu Keerthana from 2nd B English. Now we are going to delve into a classic tale of star-crossed lovers, Pyramus and Thisbe by Ovid. About the poet, Publius Ovidius Naso, known as Ovid, was a Roman poet who lived from 43 BCE to 17 CE. He is considered one of the greatest poets of the Augustan age, along with Virgil and Horace. Ovid began his literary career as a poet, writing in various genres, including elegy, lyric, and epic. Ovid's poetry had a significant impact on Western literature. Background of the poem: Metamorphosis is a narrative poem written in Latin by the Roman poet Ovid in 8 CE. The story of Pyramus and Thisbe appears in Book 4 of Metamorphosis. The story of Pyramus and Thisbe has been adapted into many languages and forms, including French, English, and modern literature. Related works: Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare's play, is inspired by the story of Pyramus and Thisbe. A Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare's play, includes a farcical version of the story Pyramus and Thisbe. Legend of Good Women, Geoffrey Chaucer's work, retells the story of Pyramus and Thisbe. These are the first 34 lines of the poem. We shall see the detailed description of these lines. Next door to each other in the brick-walled city built by Semiramis lived a boy and girl. Pyramus, a most handsome fellow, Thisbe, loveliest of all those eastern girls. Their nearness made them acquainted, and love grew in time, so that they would have married, but their parents forbade it. But their parents could not keep them from being in love. Their nods and gestures showed it. You know how fire suppressed burns all the fiercer? There was a chink in the wall between the houses, a flaw the careless builder had never noticed, nor anyone else, for many years detected, but the lovers found it. Love is a finder, always. Used it to talk through, and the loving whispers went back and forth in safety. They would stand one on each side, listening for each other, happy if each could hear the other's breathing. These lines describe that there are two persons, a boy and a girl, namely Pyramus and Thisbe. Pyramus is the most handsome fellow, and Thisbe is the loveliest of all the eastern girls. They were living next door to each other in a city of Babylon. They were very close to each other, and as the time passes by, their friendship grows into love and decided to marry each other. But their parents restricting it and not allowed them to talk to each other. One day they found out a crack in the wall between their houses, which was a mistake done by the builder that no one noticed before, but they did. They used the crack on the wall as a medium to communicate with each other every day. They would stand on their side of the houses and listen to each other's voice through the hole, and were happy to hear each other's breathing. And then they would scold the wall, "You envious barrier, why get in our way? Would it be too much to ask you to open wide for an embrace, or even permit us room to kiss in? Still, we are grateful. We owe you something. We admit, at least you let us talk together." But their talking was futile rather, and when evening came, they would say good night and given the good night kisses that never reached the other. The next morning came, and the fires of night burnt out, and sunshine dried the night frost, and Pyramus and Thisbe met at the usual place, and first in whispers complained and came high time to a decision. That night, when all was quiet, they would fold their guardians or try to come outdoors, run away from home, and even leave the city. These lines describes that they curses the wall as it was the barrier for their love. They are also grateful to the wall as it is the only medium for their communication. While they were talking, when the evening came, they would say good night and given the good night kisses to each other, which never reaches the other side through the wall. The next morning came, and the sun was bright. Pyramus and Thisbe met in their usual place. They chatted with each other and finally came to a decision to run away that night by fooling their guardians and come outdoors, run away from their home, and leave the city of Babylon. Themes: Star-crossed love. The intense, passionate love between Pyramus and Thisbe is doomed from the start due to their family's feud. Fate versus free will. The lovers attempt to be together and thwarted by fate, highlighting the conflict between destiny and personal choice. Tragic love. The story explores the devastating consequences of love that is forbidden, impossible, or unrequited. Impulsivity. Pyramus' impulsive decision to kill himself after assuming Thisbe is dead highlights the dangers of acting on emotions without considering consequences. Emotional intensity. The story explores the intense emotions associated with love, loss, and grief. Key elements of Ovid's poem: imagery and symbolism. Ovid uses the mulberry tree as a symbol of the lover's passion and fate, which turns from white to red represents the blood of the lovers. Tragic irony. Ovid employs tragic irony throughout the poem, highlighting the cruel fate that awaits the lovers. Emotional intensity. The poem conveys the intense emotions of the lovers, from their passionate love to their devastating grief. Transformation. Ovid explores the transformative power of passion as the lovers' deaths become a catalyst for change in the natural world. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. Bye bye.